So welcome to my front room. Today's class is going to be all about opening up tight shoulders. So if you're someone who hunches over a laptop or a desk a lot, also just if you notice recently that you've been carrying a lot of tension in your shoulders and maybe you're just feeling very stiff and very hunched, then some of these movements will hopefully be helpful. We are aiming to really open up through the front of the shoulders, the top of the shoulders, and along the scapula in the upper back. So when we're thinking about the shoulder, we're not just thinking about this section here with the joint or up in the trapezius muscle. We're thinking also about the shoulder blades and the 17 different muscles that attach to the shoulder blades at the back. So trying to open up shoulders is often a mixture of loosening the fascia, lubricating the joints, and also strengthening some of those underused muscles in the upper back. So we're going to start coming down onto our backs. And if this is your first practice today, you might just want to settle in for a moment. Just rest your feet on the floor, let your hips settle, and just feel how your body is feeling this morning. Maybe taking a few nice deep breaths and just seeing if you can relax a little bit more through the low back, the hips, the pelvis. Can you allow the mat, allow the floor to support you and to take your weight? Or maybe just setting a gentle intention that for the next 15 minutes or so, you're just going to be present here, gently focusing on moving your body with kindness, with attentiveness, and with compassion. If you had your eyes closed, let's gently blink them open. We're just trying to keep this nice slow breath going throughout the practice. We're going to start by bringing the arms up. So the elbows are out at about shoulder height, palms facing up to the ceiling. So little cactus arms here. And in doing this, you might already feel a little bit of an opening through the front of the shoulders, maybe a bit down the bicep. Now we're going to press the low back into the mat, which you'll feel curls your pelvis up a little bit. And for this exercise, we really want to keep the low back pressed into the mat as much as possible. On an inhale, see if you can breathe in, expanding through the abdomen, so filling it up like a balloon. And as you exhale, just see if you can keep the whole of your back pressed against the mat, and try and imagine you're trying to keep your abdomen inflated even as you breathe out. And I find it easier to do this through pursed lips. Taking a big breath in, inflating the belly, and exhale, pressing the back into the mat, trying to keep the belly lifted. And as you do this, you'll probably start to notice some engagement through the shoulders. So we're just going to keep going, do 10 of these breaths. Keep pressing the mat down. If at any point you start to get tingling sensations or pins and needles in your hands, just bring them down back by your sides for a little rest. Taking your last couple of breaths here. Keep pressing the back into the mat. And then gently relax. Bring the arms down by your sides. And just pause for a moment, letting everything relax. And just notice any little shifts or changes that have already happened. That was a move from physio rather than yoga, but it's a wonderful way just to gently start to open the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm starting on the left just because the side's facing you, but you can start either side. We're doing both. Just letting the arms rest by your sides and try and keep your jaw, your right side of your body, right arm, and your hips and your feet really relaxed. So we're just going to focus on the left arm first of all. Just start by gently stretching the fingertips slightly away from the shoulder to lengthen the arm. And then we're going to lift the arm up, fingers towards the ceiling, all the way to the top of your head, onto the ground, and then bringing those fingertips round in a big circle, keeping them on the mat until they're back by your side. And take 4 more of these. And try and do this really mindfully. So a little bit slower than you might naturally want to do it, really feeling into the connections, the joints, the ligaments, the muscular effort that it takes to move your arm in this way. Taking 1 more. And then when it comes back to your side, we're going to go the other way. So starting by opening up to the side in a big circle, bringing it all the way above your head, and then lifting. Notice a slightly different use of the muscles here. Hand comes past your head and down to your side. 4 more. Just lubricating through the joint. And I know that these kinds of moves can feel very gentle. Maybe not necessarily what you think of when you think of as a yoga class. But these are actually the kind of restorative, sensitive movements that are body aware, that work with your natural physiology, and that will actually give you more looseness and opening than doing more dramatic shoulder stretches or things like shoulder stands. Taking 1 more. And gently bringing it back down to your side. I'm just going to change sides. And we'll just go to the other side. So bringing your right hand down at your side, relaxing the rest of your body. And we'll just start by bringing that right arm up, past your head to the floor behind you. And then in a big circle, coming back down to your side. And notice the differences between the right side and the left side. How does it feel to move in this way with your right arm? Is it easier? Or is there a little bit more stiffness? You might notice that there's a little bit more tension on your dominant side. That's really, really normal. I'm right-handed and I can just feel my right shoulder joint is just clicking a little bit as I practice this move. Slowing the movement down if you've started to do it on autopilot. And when it comes back down to your side, start to take it out in a big circle. It's above your head. And then bringing it up past your face, down by your side. taking 4 more. Last one. And bring the arm down. Just take a little moment. Give your shoulders a break. We're going to try a little neck release now. So just interlacing the hands. Bring them behind the back of the head just so that you can cradle the base of the skull. Bringing the elbows nice and wide. And once again, going to press the low back into the mat here and start to scoop the head up, held in the hands, keeping the shoulder blades down onto the mat. And bring your elbows up on either side of your head. On an inhale, think about drawing the elbows up towards the ceiling to lift your head slightly. And on the exhale, hold your arms there. Let your head sink back into your hands. Let's take that twice more. So inhale, drawing the elbows up towards the ceiling. And exhale, just relax the head back into the hands. You'll feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Once more, lifting the elbows up, letting the head drop back into the hands. And then come back down on the mat, widen the elbows, take a breath here. Okay, we're going to inhale, lift up again, bring the elbows up. This time turn them towards the right. And on an inhale, start to lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. Exhale, drop the head back into the hands. Twice more. And come back down. Widen the elbows, take a breath. And last time, lifting up, bring the elbows up, turn towards the left this time. Inhale, elbows up towards the ceiling. Exhale, head drops into the hands. Twice more. Gently widen the elbows. Come back down. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Big stretch. Get really, really long. And then bringing both arms above the head. On an inhale, you're going to start lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. Start peeling your head up off the floor. Bring the elbows forward. Widen the shoulder blades to draw yourself up to seated. Bring the arms above the head into a staff pose. Exhale, start to curve through the spine. Bringing the elbows down. Starting to roll back onto the mat. Bring the hands back past the head, back into that long stretch. Inhale here. Exhale, start to bring the hands forward, peeling the head up. Broaden the shoulder blades to pull yourself up. Arms above the head, staff pose. Exhale, curve through the spine. Start to let the shoulder blades lead back down to the mat. Arms above the head. Take 3 more of these. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. And this time when you come up to staff pose, bring the arms down. You might need to adjust your position on the mat and take a gentle passive forward fold. Just rolling your upper body forward, rounding, dropping the head, relaxing the arms, palms are facing up. And you'll feel a lovely stretch here between the shoulder blades, perhaps across the back of the neck, perhaps all the way down the spine and along the back of the legs. If you notice you're staying really engaged here, see if you can just loosen the knees and really just flop like a little rag doll. Taking some big breaths, feeling into the back, feeling into the shoulders. Placing the hands on the mat, walk the hands back in slowly, pressing down to gently straighten your spine until your head comes up. Let's lift the right foot, bring it over your left thigh, draw that knee in towards the chest, straighten the spine first, fingertips behind you, and just take a gentle twist. Nice straight spine. Again, just thinking about the mid-back and upper back here. Relax those shoulders back. No strain in your neck, just glancing towards your right shoulder. Draw in your tummy muscles for a slightly deepened twist. Gently uncurl. Shake the legs out. We'll go to the other side, lifting that left foot over, drawing it into the chest, fingertips behind you. Straighten the spine first, and then start to turn, glancing back towards that left shoulder. Keeping the breath nice and long, drawing the stomach muscles in to deepen the twist a little bit. Gently uncurl, woggle the legs out, and we're going to come to kneeling now. So you could just kneel seated on your hips. You might want to place a block underneath if you find that more comfortable. And if you can, bring your palms down onto the mat so that your middle fingertip is roughly in line with the tops of your knees, keeping the palms of the hands flat. Now, if this feels very cramped, like there's not enough space, just bring them forward a little bit so that you're leaning slightly forward and you've got more space for your shoulders. And we're going to take a cat-cow from here. So this is a really lovely move I learned from Paula Lay. So you get Yogini Melbourne. So on an inhale, pressing the hands down and start to come into your cat pose. So tilting the pelvis, rounding forward, lifting the sternum, looking up. And then exhale, pressing the hands down and curve back through the spine, tuck the pelvis under, drop the chin to the chest. You're going to love the expansion through the upper back and shoulders. So inhale, taking that little modified cow pose. Exhale, press back into cat. Take this a few more times, moving with your own breath. And after your last cat pose, gently re-straighten the spine. Take a little wiggle. Now, if you have a block, you could use a block for the next couple of exercises. If you don't have one, you don't need one. You can just do this by holding your hands about block width apart and engaging your muscles a little bit. If you do have a block, you're going to bring it between the hands and just press the palms of the hands together to hold the block in place. Either way, we're bringing our arms out at shoulder height. And we're just going to do shoulder blade protraction and retraction. So on an inhale, think about squeezing the shoulder blades behind you like you're trying to squeeze something between them. and then broaden the shoulder blades, pushing them away from one another. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. You'll notice the block comes towards me a little bit, and exhale, broaden the shoulder blades to move the block away. Keep pressing your hands into the block if you've got one. Try not to bend the elbows so that this is really focused through the shoulder blades. Now, if you've got, like me, very overly helpful trap muscles, you'll feel them start to turn on and get involved. If you can, give the neck a little wiggle and just try and relax the tops of the shoulders and really focus this on the shoulder blades. Just a couple more. And then we're going to lift the block, or just lift the arms above the head and just bring the block or bring your hands back towards the back of the neck, back of the shoulder blades, pointing the elbows up towards the ceiling. Just taking a moment here, try and knit the ribs in so that they don't sort of flare forward, keep the pelvis tucked down. So this is really felt through the upper arms. Taking a big breath here. And then straighten the arms. Just bring the block or bring your hands down onto the mat. If you've got the block, you're going to really sort of squeeze it between your hands. Otherwise, just bring your forearms flat on the mat. And we're going to step back just into a little forearm plank just for a moment. So lifting the hips up, drawing the stomach in, and think about engaging through the shoulders here. Looking forward towards the top of the mat. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, drop the hips, move the block out the way if you were using it. Planting the forearms down on the mat, just draw the shoulder blades back into a little sphinx pose for a moment. Let's bring the left forearm out at 45-degree angles. Right fingertips off the mat. Just press yourself up a little to look back across that right shoulder towards that right foot. And go the other way. Right forearm at 45 degrees, left fingertips off. Lift up, looking back towards that left foot. One of my favorite stretches. Pressing back, tucking the toes, spreading the hands nice and wide. Lift your hips up to down facing dog. Just take a moment here, walk out your down facing dog, stretch out your legs a little bit. And then we're just going to make a slightly shorter down facing dog. Just bring your feet in a little bit so it'll feel a little bit unusual. Press your left hand firmly into the mat. Make sure that you've got your weight equally across both feet, and then we're going to lift that right hand, take hold of the left ankle or shin, and just pull slightly to draw yourself down and look under that left shoulder. So just a really nice upper back twist. Keep your breath nice and long. Come back, plant the right hand, adjust your balance. And then lift the left hand, take it to the right ankle or right shin, and just draw yourself down to look underneath that right armpit. Big breaths. Come back to down facing dog. Bring your down facing dog out to your normal stance. Take another little wiggle here. And then we're going to lift up onto the tiptoes, flow through the spine forward into plank, and you might need to lengthen your plank here so that you've got your full extent. We're going to start to drop the hips, keeping the toes tucked, drawing the shoulder blades back, looking up in a little modified up dog. And exhale, press back, down facing dog. We're going to take that twice more. So inhale, lift the heels. Flow through the spine, drop the hips, draw the shoulder blades back, open the chest. Exhale, press the hips back to the ceiling. Big breath, let it go. Inhale, lift the hips, roll forward, drop the hips, lift the gaze, exhale, back into down facing dog. One more breath here. Letting it go. Bring the knees down to the mat. Bring your toes together, knees just a bit wider than your hips. You might want to bring a block for your forehead. Arms back at your sides. And just rest in child's pose. Letting your body relax. Bring your hands back next to your head, press into the ground, roll up slowly. Come to take a seat in any way that's comfortable for you. Let's just take another little twist here. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Straighten, looking back over that right shoulder. Gently come back to center. And just take it in the opposite direction, right hand on your knee, left fingertips behind you. Coming back to center. Take a little wiggle. Just see how the upper back and shoulders are feeling now. I hope that you enjoyed this practice and that one or two of these moves prove to be helpful. The thing with shoulders is that you have to keep moving them every single day. So hopefully there's one or two things here that you feel you can incorporate into your everyday routine and that you start to find your shoulders feel a little bit more open and a little bit stronger. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Thank you.